Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of mine, Hockey Card Breaks here. And today is the first episode of the Beckett review. So I can't guarantee that this is going to be too in-depth, but I'm just going to go through the pages, let you look at it, pause the video if you want, look at what the Beckett used to be like. Unlike today's, it's just totally different format. I preferred when it was like this. So much more simpler and but that's because it was the beginning of the hobby before everything went crazy, the mainstream and social media played a role. This is like from 1990, even 89, sorry. And I'm trying to get a good view. So yeah, here we go. So this is the first issue of Beckett, which was referred to then as Beckett Hockey Magazine, and it's changed titles throughout the years, but it's served the same purpose. So here on the cover of the first issue is Wayne Gretzky on the LA Kings, and there's the 1990-91 Upper Deck base card. So, pardon my girlfriend in the background, she's on Xbox Live, but she won't be too much of a disturbance. She's doing her thing, we're doing our thing. So when you go into the first, the inside of the front cover is an ad for 1990 Upper Deck. Pretty basic. This fall, hockey excitement comes to trading cards. Look for the great one. So Wayne Gretzky was a spokesman for Upper Deck, and then here's for some of their different sports. The almanacs listed every single card back in the day. I do have some of those, so maybe in a future video I'll go through those. Let me zoom out. I apologize. I'm trying to do this decently. So here's just some action shots. Beckett tended to do a lot of action shots back in the day. Unlike today, it's just a standalone shot of a player for the most part. But right here, and even a little bit of info, like Mark Messier, center stage, and then it's like just a little bit of info there on this card. Yeah. There we go. So Brett Hall. So right here, center is the position of choice for collectors. It's kind of true today too, but not as much. Young phenoms Brett Hall, and the only player to crack the hold. What? To crack the hold of Messier and his fellow centers on the weather report, which is the hot list, which I will get to. So I just wanted to show you that quickly. There's a nice action shot. Pretty cool. There's a Miracle on Ice. So this is just an introduction to this. There's wow, now that's just says it all right there. A picture of the 1991 Pro Set Wayne Gretzky. This is from Dr. Jim Beckett, who used to run this. And then here's the creepiest ad imaginable. And, well, this is alright, but then you scroll down. Well, it's just not creepy, but it's just weird colors. But pretty simplistic. Anyway, so here's an article on Wayne Gretzky, class by himself. There's some nice action shots. There's a 85-86 Peachy Wayne Gretzky. So I apologize. I brought this out camping, wanting to review it, and the rain got to it, but whatever. It's all good. I'll get it replaced, but it held intact. So yeah, I'm not a fan of how it just. Yeah, they should have this smaller, but who's to complain? So class right here. Yeah, just different headlines. Class earns respect. Yeah, so it's just an article on Wayne Gretzky. And I'll hover it for a few seconds if you want to pause and glance through. There we go. And here's a really cool action shot. And this is Dave Taylor, who used to be on the Kings, LA Kings. And I believe that must be, I'm not too sure who that is actually. Number 31. But anyway, nice overhead crease shot. This is just talking about the goal scores. So you have Mark Messier, Wayne Gretzky, there's Paul Coffey, Brett Hall, and there is Steve Yzerman, and yeah, Ray Bourque. Yeah, I believe that's Ray Bourque. There's a nice action shot of Ray Bourque in his early years. He was in his 8th or 9th season by this time. And there's a facsimile auto. And I just loved when they had these little mini posters inside. I wouldn't recommend cutting them out, but still, it's too bad the current Beckett doesn't do that. There's Patrick Waugh, and this is just a continuation of some of the upcoming stars at the time who would make a hobby splash. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you want to pause this and just give it a quick read. And I apologize, I should be discussing more of what is what, but this is just an intro to it. So in upcoming episodes of this, I will be discussing more in detail of each article entails and what it's about. So right here is the weather report, which is really weird looking back, but it's the 90s. Early 90s was a different time. So there's Gretzky and Lemieux, who were really on the hot list. And then here's the hot list right here and the cold list. Now, I always found that contradictory because why would you focus on cold players? It should have been on the positive and just leave players that weren't selling well alone. In future issues of Beckett would drop that and just focus on the positive, which I kind of agree. So right here is just a little synopsis of just, some notes on the hobby. Mario Lemieux, who was just coming into his own at that time. Like, he had already done so at that point, but hobby-wise, he was just taking off. And then if you notice the hot and cold, there's some interesting names there. Like Wayne Gretzky, Brett Hall, Mario Lemieux, Steve Yzerman, Messier, Bourque, Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Pat LaFontaine. LA Kings were popular because of Gretzky, Neely, Savard, Oilers, Patrick Waugh, Pierre Turgeon. It's kind of a surprise. Brian Leach, Robitaille, Phil Esposito, and Craig Janney. Yeah, that says 90s right there. You wouldn't be able to sell his cards today for 5 cents. But, yeah, and Hextall. And then the cold, which I don't agree with, but yeah, Mario Lemieux's on the cold list, yet he's on the hot list, so make of that what you will. Hextall, Fuhrer, Leach, Yzerman, Coffey, Hawerchuk, Peter Stastny, 89.90 tops. Yeah, that wouldn't be cold. That's a pretty good set. And Yari Curry. So, yeah. And now look at this. This will take a lot of you back. And some of the newer collectors will probably look at this and be like, wow, that is really rudimentary, like just simple. But you know what? This was really nice back in the day. Each pricing had a picture of what that set looked like. And you know what? It would be really nice to have that, but where there's so many sets, I don't think it's possible. You'd have several volumes of the Beckett, and it would just be absolutely brutal, but it's really cool just to look back. Like, there's Guy Lafleur's rookie, if I'm not mistaken, or one of his earlier issues. It's just really cool. Like, I just love this stuff. And some of the prices are interesting, so yeah, don't go by these prices now because a lot of it has changed. Yeah. So I don't think there's any up arrows in this issue, because this was the first issue, so there was no previous issue to move up and down. But yeah, my girlfriend's laughing at me over there, but I don't blame her. So yeah, this one goes up to 89.90 tops. Just look at some of the prices on the cards. Sorry, let me get that out of your way. There you go. You can see clearly. Like it's just a world of difference from today. And there's hobby hints, set prices. Pretty cool. If you total the individual card prices in a set, the sum usually will be significantly higher than the set is priced. So they're saying at this time it was better to sell individual cards rather than sets.
I want to see if you like this location for
86, 87. So, like for example, a Brett Hall rookie at that time. Yeah. So there's Pierre Turgeon. There's a Brett Hall rookie. And all of these would go up in value, of course, afterwards, because at this time, this was before the explosion in the 90s. And in future episodes, we will go into that. So here's your Beckett price guide. Just an overall general way to use the Beckett guide. And some of it is true today. All other aspects, yeah. Some old advertisements. None of these are... Okay, and here's some really cool stuff. So Breaking the Ice is just talking about vintage players. Yeah, excitement surrounding hockey card collecting couldn't be higher. Yeah. Thanks to a hat trick of new card sets and a rink full of talented young skaters. I don't know why they're picturing older players when they're referring to young players, but hey, it's your own. And here's a terrible someone captioned the Gretzky card, and yeah. So right here is just more stuff. Since hockey is the unofficial national sport of Canada, collectors north of the border worry about a possible American bias. Yeah, that kind of maintains a bit true today, but you know, card collecting in Canada still maintains like a higher, I guess, profile in Canada than the US, because baseball, football, and basketball compete against hockey in America. Sorry, I'm just trying to go with my thought there. So yeah, this is Reader's Right. So it's too bad Beckett doesn't have this today, as this was just opinions of collectors, and they would get some pretty cool questions and opinions in, just questions on the hobby. But today, where everything is online, I don't think there's a place for it in the magazine, because information is readily available. Unlike this time, like this era, there was no internet, and everything was much more, like the information was much more delayed in getting out to the hobby. So I'm not going to go into detail on each Reader's Right, but you can pause it, give it a read. There's some pretty cool stuff here. Yeah. This is more. Yeah, if you want to pause, by all means, just give it a quick read. And this is some questions. So next episode, I will pre-read some of these and just give you an idea. So right here, promo card penalty box. So this is talking about the Red Rooster set. And it's just talking about promo cards in general. I had one of these a few months back, and it was pretty unique. The end of an era. 89 Topps issue marks the last time the company is unopposed on the hockey card rink. Yeah, that's when Upper Deck was coming in. Upper Deck had not been released. It was slated for a few months after this. But yeah, before that, it was only Topps and O-Pee-Chee. They had the exclusive rights to hockey. Pretty cool. Not even Parkhurst was in it at this point. Yeah, so just some more articles. A lot of you might be finding this boring, but you know what? It's pretty cool just to read back on some of this stuff. And now, here's the color paragraph. So, talking about Pat LaFontaine, little article on him. Picture him in his 1990-91 Pro set. Here's some of the Beckett Sports Videos. Yeesh. Look at this stuff. Yep. It's a wide variety. Here's talking about the goalies. And they rank some of the goalies that were pretty prominent in the hobby at this time. Patrick Waugh is number one. I don't know why Andy Moog is pictured by Patrick Waugh, but maybe it's correlated to this picture. Either way, that's really weird. I'm not a fan of that. That's Andy Moog's picture. Yeah. Now, this is interesting. I never noticed this, but here's the Mike Vernon rookie, which is the card. But look at the Patrick Waugh. It's a different picture than his 1990-91 score. So I don't know where Beckett got this picture. Maybe it was the promo card, or maybe a promo that wasn't released into the set. But either way, that's pretty interesting. There's Vernon. So number one was Patrick Waugh. Number two is Andy Moog. I apologize for the wrinkles on the page, but you can pause this video, give that a read. Darren Pupa, Mike Vernon, Bill Ranford. Pretty fascinating. The Golden Touch, talking about Brett Hall and his son, Brett Hall, Golden Jet, and the Golden Rocket. Pretty cool. Hall of Fame players, hot cards. So this is just an article on some of what, look, I don't know what that is, like Fodderic's son, Hall. That's really tacky, but yeah, it's the 90s. Yeah. The long and winding road. Yeah. Not every player with sharp skates and sharp skills makes it to the NHL, but here are some youngsters who probably will. Now this article is hilarious if you want to laugh. And it's not that you should laugh at it, it's just hindsight. Some of these names did become popular. Like, here we go, here's Owen Nolan, who went on to a pretty good career. Peter Nedved, Keith Primo, Mike Ricci. Here's Jaromir Jagr. And they didn't write much on Jaromir Jagr, oddly enough. But he's probably the biggest name of this rookie class. Here's Jimmy Waite, Rick Corriveau. Here's Curtis Joseph. And he was on the Blues. He was a prospect. There's Wes Walsh, Mark Peterson, Pavel Bure on the Canucks. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and I'm just going to not read out every single name, but I'll let you look. There's Robert Reichel. Daryl Sador. There's Teemu Selanne. He went on to a Hall of Fame career. Matt Sundin, who was on Quebec at the time. Darian Hatcher. Yeah, and everyone else. Mr. Suitcase, Mike Sillinger, who has the record for most trade, like times being traded. Mr. Suitcase, they called him. Yeah. And I think this might be the final article. Bobby Orr. So there's an article on Bobby Orr. There's a young Bobby Orr right there. Action shot. And there is one of Bobby Orr's cards. It's not his rookie. It's his 71-72 tops, which is his third or fourth year. So yeah, there's an article on Bobby Orr. And if you look at the back, this is another part of Beckett, the old Beckett that I absolutely love, is the artwork on the back page, and this one is of Gordie Howe. Just look at the amazing detail. I wish I could get this blown up into a large poster. I would do it for every single cover they have, because they had a lot of amazing artwork. Artists throughout the country used to submit them, and you'll see that in future episodes. But this one was Gordie Howe pictured on Detroit, his All-Star, and then Detroit again, which I found kind of different. It should have been Hartford, but who am I to judge? It's really cool. And then on the back, Patrick Waugh. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much the very first issue of Beckett Hockey Magazine, released in October of 1989. Okay, no, October of 1990. But it might as well be 89, because that's ages ago. I was only 6 at the time, So this was, 28 years ago. Now, if that doesn't make you feel old, nothing will.
No.
So, hope you all enjoyed that. Let's go for a wide shot. And up next will be Volume 2. And the next one I'm hoping to go more into detail on each article. And we will explore more with the up arrows and just see who was trending in the hobby at that time. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and look out for more. Bye.